Any sane CEO could probably tell you not to make the richest man in the world mad.
And by him taking the position that he took in quite a public manner, we just felt that the association with that position and Elon Musk and X was not necessarily a positive one for us, and we decided we would pull our advertising.
Of course, Bob Iger is the CEO of Disney, and he may just be a bona fide idiot.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go f*** yourself. But go f*** yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is. Hey, Bob, if you're in the audience.
You done messed up, Bob. You done messed up.
La encontré porque te estaba la ballena agarrada.
Musk is expanding the call here, so yeah, there's a lot to talk about.
What do you mean Musk is expanding the call?
Well,
What?
we can talk. He's retweeting and asking if people want to join the lawsuit.
Oh boy.
Like maybe all those people who were at Disney and Pixar.
Here we go.
Animation and
Please
got
let
kicked
us
out.
know if you would like to join the lawsuit against Disney.
My gosh.
So the idea that all of this is a coincidence is thinning out here. Do we want to leave that on screen as we go through the super chats? By the way,
Just
I
heard
think
the
Valiant
sound
will
of
be,
news media all over the world going, Blackwell, who? Who cares?
All right, folks, here we have it. This is the breaking news landing. The evening before the Disney earnings call. That's probably no mistake. Probably
There's
not
so much to talk
coincidence.
about. I want to go.
I'm
Here
so
we go.
excited. All right, here we
Right,
go.
Carano,
like,
and
I'm like
folks-
kicking my legs. I'm like,
Folks, you'll remember that we talked about at the beginning of this year in December the Gina Carano files. We think this plays into this. They're here now. Here we go. Today is an important day for me. This Gina Carano, just about 15 minutes ago. I am filing a lawsuit against Lucasfilm and Disney. Kathleen Kennedy, a good day this is not. After my 20 years of building a career from scratch and during the regime of former Disney CEO Bob Chapek, Lucasfilm made this statement on Twitter terminating me from The Mandalorian. Oh, this is bad. Gina Carano is not currently employed by Lucasfilm, and there are no plans for her to be in the future. Nevertheless, her social media posts degenerating people based on their cultural and religious identities are abhorrent and unacceptable. Nothing could be further from the truth. The truth is, I was being hunted down from everything I posted to every post I liked because I was not in line with the acceptable narrative of the time. My words were consistently twisted to demonize and dehumanize me as an alt-right-wing extremist. It was a bullying smear campaign aimed at silencing, destroying, and making an example out of me. The thing is, I never even used aggressive language. I shared thought-provoking quotes, pictures, memes, and occasionally I used my own words, not with aggression, but with respect and the occasional comedy to keep the mood light in dark times. Look with your own eyes at what I posted and ask yourself, for example, where did I compare Republicans to Jewish people during a terrible time? I did not. Ask yourself why they were calling me an ist. Was there any merit behind that or history of it whatsoever? No. Look at why I was called a phobe for making droid noises from Star Wars. Beep, bop, boop was obviously directed to the online bullies and did not in any way degenerate people of any group. Were my questions about masks, lockdowns, and forced vaccines okay to ask and push the subject into the light? Should we have been allowed to publicly discuss those topics at that time without being harassed or censored? Absolutely. Hollywood says they support female representation and equal rights. Why then were my male co-stars permitted to speak without harassment? I.e., Pedro Pascal. And re-education courses or termination, but I was not afforded the same right to exercise my freedom of speech. Artists do not sign away our rights as American citizens when we enter into employment. I have spoken to all my co-stars since I was fired, and there is nothing but care and kind words between us. I respect their right to free speech and do not have to think the same on every issue to be their friends and work with them, and I know they feel the same towards me. I also want to say, folks, Gosh, it's so funny. Our breaking news for tomorrow was that The Mandalorian is being rushed into production. And then this landed. I wonder if she was aware. Just a thought. That was the big breaking news for tomorrow morning. A couple months ago, it still is, by the way, we'll cover it. A couple months ago, Elon Musk tweeted that if you had been fired from using the platform for exercising your right to free speech, he would like to offer these people legal representation. Quite the noble offer, but never in my wildest dreams would I have thought anyone would take on my case against Lucasfilm and Disney. Still, I did not respond back. I think I qualify, and thousands of people agreed, but I did not expect anything. Jonas, while we're reading this, can you get the picture of Gina Carano and Kara embracing at MegaCon?
Yeah,
can you have that on the ready?
Absolutely.
To my surprise, a few months ago, I received an email from a lawyer who had been hired by X to look into my story and many others. Turns out, after sending them as much information as I could gather these past few months, my now lawyers and X believe wholeheartedly in my case and are moving forward. I would like to express my deepest gratitude and thank you to Elon Musk and X for giving me an opportunity to bring my case to light. This also now shines a dramatic light on Elon Musk being with Nelson Peltz over the weekend.
You bet.
This is as big as it gets in turning this company around. As for me, I would love to pick up where I left off and continue my journey of creating and participating in storytelling, which is my utmost passion and everything I worked so hard for. It has been difficult to move forward with the lies and labels stuck on me. Backed and encouraged by the most powerful entertainment company in the world. Gina, that's the only place I'm going to have to disagree. I think they handed that off when they decided to hand you off.
Yep.
I'm grateful someone has come to my defense in such a powerful way and look forward to clearing my name. Thank you to all the people who have supported me and made your voices heard. I pray God blesses each and every one of you with love. Gina Carano. For inquiries, contact Carano Lawsuit at SchaeferJaffe.com. We'll be looking into that. We've got, of course, people commenting and getting vast views and likes on this already. Kevin Dalton with "This is the Way." And as I said, the story for tomorrow morning on the Pro Channel, leading to the Disney earnings call, was going to be that they were rushing The Mandalorian into production. I've got more news on that, including some real amazing stuff regarding how much they're rushing The Mandalorian into production. Let's go now to Jonas. You've got this available for us real quick. Let's put that on the screen, and then Lou, I want your thoughts. There's Gina with Kara a couple of days ago. Kara, if you knew about this, we don't hold it against you because you couldn't say anything. But Lou, your thoughts?
I would like to just read the first couple paragraphs of her lawsuit. I really would. Would you indulge me?
Do you have it?
Yes, it's on the Hollywood Reporter site.
Please.
Okay,
Let's go to it.
this is a message to tell everyone out there like me who's cynical about lawyers and who thinks Andrew is a rare one, that there are others with a brilliantly wicked sense of humor too. This is the actual filing in court, folks. Ready? Introduction. A short time ago, in a galaxy not so far away, defendants made it clear that only one orthodoxy in thought, speech, or action was acceptable in their empire, and that those who dared to question or failed to fully comply would not be tolerated. And so it was with Carano. After 2 highly acclaimed seasons on The Mandalorian as Rebel Ranger Cara Dune, Carano was terminated from her role as swiftly as her character's peaceful home planet of Alderaan had been destroyed by the Death Star in an earlier Star Wars film. All this because she dared voice her own opinions on social media platforms and elsewhere and stood up to the online bully mob who demanded her compliance with their extreme progressive ideology. Defendants' wrath over their employees' social media posts also differed depending on sex. Even though, quote, the force is female, unquote, defendants chose to target a woman while looking the other way when it came to men.
I love when they can throw their ideologies back at them like that.
When Carano was fired, defendants took no action against male actors who took equally or more vigorous and controversial positions on social media. But the rule of law still reigns over the defendant's empire, and Carano has returned to demand that they be held accountable for their bullying, discriminatory, and retaliatory actions that inflicted not only substantial emotional harm, but millions of dollars in lost income. How do you like them apples?
I mean, she
it's
could
really
be
something to go
starring
pull
in
up
a
the
major
lawsuit right here.
production from the Walt Disney Company this year. The fact that the Mandalorian movie is now coming out and she won't be a part of it, in some way, Disney is even damaging themselves by robbing themselves of the possibility of having Gina Carano in their movie. My goodness, I cannot emphasize how much that female audience was there for the Mandalorian because of Baby Yoda and Gina Carano. This was one of the reasons that this was not some show that once she was gone, it was a show my wife tolerated. And once season 3 came out and was ridiculous with weird jumping frogs and paintball, I couldn't tolerate it either. This is the end of Disney Star Wars right here. The end. Gina Carano being let go is the end of Disney Star Wars, and it's all downhill from there, in my opinion.
Let's walk through what all this means a little bit. There's a lot to unpack here.
There's so much.
What this means is that Elon Musk formed a legal effort behind the scenes to begin weighing which ones of these now should go forward first. Gina Carano seems to have been selected. We don't know what others might be existing out there, but this might speak to why Elon Musk went silent about this for a while. It also means that Elon Musk, when he's with Nelson Peltz, that by far the best shot at a proxy war that's successful, that Nelson Peltz is now working with the guy, or at least is in close association with the guy who is leading a legal effort against the Walt Disney Company in the most public and damaging way possible, and which will have ramifications for their next Star Wars movie. It also means, as this keeps going, this will open up Kathleen Kennedy to significant scrutiny. And then it also means that when Elon Musk declares that he's looking at companies to acquire, that he's also funding legal efforts against the company, which was insinuated to be the one he might try to acquire through whatever means, even if he was being a bit facetious. Panel, culture, what in the world has happened this afternoon?
This is rather extraordinary. I mean, not just the language in the preamble of the lawsuit we just listened to that Lou was gracious enough to read to us, but the fact that all of these things are being done in concert. You don't think everything here was thought about in advance by both Peltz and Musk? You don't think they've talked? I suggested going back months now that there was that Musk could change this game if he and Peltz were to get on the same team. I think we pretty much have an indication that Nelson and Musk are on the same team. Calling out the fact that he was there with friends, which he looked backwards at Peltz in the background. If you look at that image,
yeah,
right. Then you have the lawsuit being announced on the same day, the day before this is all going to happen. And here's the funniest thing. Obviously, the food fight that we were talking about earlier with Ian Tabi's Blackwell's ridiculousness is, again, this guy is the ultimate gnat in the room that you just can't find. It's living on a plant. You just can't kill it, but it just flies in front of your face every once in a while. That's what Ian Tabi is. When you have somebody like Peltz, you have somebody like Musk, these are gentlemen of substantial means and business acumen. So the fact that this is all happening in concert at the right time, going into a meeting that everybody's going to be interested in tomorrow, because for us nerds here, this is our Super Bowl, not this silly game that seems to be fixed at the end of the week. Yeah,
this has implications for people wonder, why do we cover entertainment, right? We could cover lots of different things. I could be in the political sphere. I enjoy philosophy. I enjoy discussing religious thoughts and all of these sorts of things. I love video games, and we may get into video games. Why do we talk about entertainment and specifically Disney and that sort of thing? What I would say is that we cover this stuff because, number one, it's a forebearer of where our culture is going down the road, but also because it's cyclical. So on one hand, it shows us where the culture is going. On the other hand, you can affect it such that the culture can be aimed in a better and more appropriate direction. And so I think it has vast implications on so much in our world. And I know that because we spend so much time thinking about entertainment. You stop at the water cooler and you talk about the show that came on the night before. You drive home and you listen in to podcasts about your favorite entertainment. You can't wait to get home and play your favorite video game or what have you. these things really matter because we spend a lot of neural effort. We spend a lot of calories in our noggins playing and enjoying these things. I want to go to Spencer now. Spencer, your thoughts on what we've just seen transpire. What do you think the cultural impact is going to be, as this will now almost assuredly become even more a part of the average person's knowledge of what's going on at Disney?
So I think in a general sense, this is like, I know a lot of people in our chat are telling us to, temper your expectations. Let's not put the cart before the horse. But this is so major because this is not only a lawsuit against Disney at a time when they cannot, they really can't weather any more bad press, but it's also at a time when like Star Wars is failing and it's just, or what am I trying to say here? This was such a big moment in the history of modern cancel culture that now that we're seeing actual like a fight being taken against it, I think this is, I don't want to be overly optimistic, but I think it's not the nail in the coffin for cancel culture, but I think we're definitely going to start seeing a huge shift away from at least the what do you call it? Like the terminally online who are always trying to cancel you over everything. I feel like that probably is going to start disappearing. I don't know. I'm going to admit, like I'm optimistic. I am hopeful for this because this is absolutely a step in the right direction, not just for, actors and such and against Disney, but free speech. Like, because as we went through with Pro, Gina's right. She never used any of those languages, like that language. She's never used she never did anything they accused her of doing. And I know, like, I've covered that. John Trent, current editor-in-chief of That Park Place, when he was with Bounding, he covered that all the time. It's all good. Or at least it's a step in the right direction. Let's put it that way.
This is going to, if it plays out, if Disney doesn't want to settle, and Gina may not want to settle. Gina may say, I won't. There's no amount you can settle for.
I don't think she'll settle. There's no way.
This could pull out Lucasfilm documents. This could pull Lucasfilm documents out into the public. This could really, I mean, this could, you want to talk about some damage to the legacy of Kathleen Kennedy beyond destroying Star Wars? If we start getting emails put out into Discovery that, I can't even imagine the vitriol they must have had.
It would be amazing if maybe a large trove of emails somehow ended up attached to this lawsuit.
But I heard that server was wiped. It was deleted. I clean it regularly, all the time.
Wow. Well, what news has been breaking? And this is right before the earnings report. So we'll get the earnings report, and
the beauty is, in order to maintain their own credibility, those institutional guys that get to ask questions tomorrow, they've got to say, Bob, we know you can't talk about ongoing lawsuits, but in general, what do you think about this? And he's got to say, I'm sorry, I can't talk about. In other words, his inability puts him on display in a way that it wouldn't otherwise. If he could say something, and you know him, he might just goof and say something anyway, because that's the kind of guy he is.
Well, think about this, Lou. This is going to put a massive shadow over the Mandalorian movie, which we now believe will go into production in June. This is gonna give people a bad taste in their mouth for that movie, even before it ever has a chance to get into trailers and previews.
By the way, when you get into that lawsuit, one of the things they're asking for, and I don't know that a court would ever grant this or that she really wants it, is that she be recast back into the show or into the movie.
That's beautiful.
Not just money for doing it to her, but putting her back in where she was.
That's beautiful.
Well, again, they would have to do massive amounts of retooling, but I think Jon Favreau would probably be okay with that. Look, do you remember how much damage Amy Pascal did to Sony?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think Kathleen Kennedy it could do her level best to compete with that?
There are other names as well at Lucasfilm that I'm not going to mention that I think would be irreparably damaged. Names that I'm surprised are not attached to that High Republic encyclopedia that we talked about earlier in the show.
Maybe they didn't know their pronouns.
Well, yeah. You mean the guy they used to refer to as like Yoda around the office?
Culture, I want to give you a major shout out. You had the exclusive on this. Now you couldn't come. It didn't come out with this kind of specificity. Your channel had the exclusive on this months ago. Tell the folks out there what exactly transpired.
That there was quite a bit on the way on the horizon. There were a lot of different emails and things that were somewhat hiding in the background that were going to be exposed at a point in the near future. It was a live show that I was on with probably the mother of all bomb droppers. He's known as Drunk 3PO. He's a very unassuming guy, Jay.
Hey, we know that guy.
Yeah, and I have to tell you that that was an enormous day to just chat with him. He and I, when we start to talk, we really talk because we like each other a lot. And he just dropped those bombs. It was amazing, just out of the blue. It was fantastic. But yeah,
I want to congratulate you on that. That's I
didn't do anything. He did it. Come on.
Yes, but you two laid the groundwork for us knowing that something big was coming. Yeah. That's something big. When you're looking at people playing 4D chess and when they're going to deliver something like this, you want to strike the dragon when the dragon's weak, right? Yeah. And striking the dragon right now, the day before the earnings call, is definitely a major play, and especially as we're getting news now that The Mandalorian is being rushed into production, to release it on that same day, impressive. This also, though, calls into question now, what do they have for April? Because if this is what they're throwing at the beginning of February, and we expect there to be a campaign now going forward for the next 2 months aimed at Disney, what else are they going to do? And if you're wondering if this is having an impact, folks, Lucasfilm now trending. If you look at the right side, side here, trending in the United States, Lucasfilm, and look to the left. You can't make this up. Jay, welcome to the rebellion. We'll like it live. Lauren Connor, go get 'em, Gina. We'll like it right there. Kara Lynn, just below that. You know what? We'll like it live right there. The likes are raining down, baby.
Bro, we're not showing anything.
Oh, man, this is so disappointing. I'm so sad.
Now
I like it live, ladies and gentlemen.
Now we'll hit
Jay over there. Jay over there on the left, welcome to the rebellion. Lauren Connor, go get 'em, Gina. Kara Lynn, posting right below that. And over on the right, trending in the United States, Lucasfilm right now. I suspect that is going to grow tremendously. I suspect Gina may trend later on. And all of this, part of an effort now combined, I presume, Elon Musk, Nelson Peltz, together forever, besties. Get the T-shirts and get the mugs. Guys, it's been a fantastic show. We've got member chats coming up. I want to give everybody on the panel a chance to comment on this massive story before we wind down. We'll start with Spencer and we'll work our way around. Spencer, your thoughts on this?
Obviously, my biggest thought is, like I said at the top of the segment, total massive take on my part. I said Elon's doing nothing. He was clearly working behind the scenes, and he's got Gina, moving along. So I'll take that L. Aside from all the optimism I have about this lawsuit in general, I this is disastrous for the Mandalorian movie, right? Because now it has so much stacked against it. Not only did it, when it was announced, people just went, why? This is weird. You're desperate. That's odd. Now you've got Gina coming out and bringing that whole situation back to the public attention. Then you've got Carl Weathers passing away. What? And now with your news that it's being rushed into production, what are they hoping for here? What's going to happen? I'm thinking Disney Plus Marvel Productions level of failure coming up. So future will hold, but go get them, Gina.
and I'm just going to give a preview, folks. And by the way, Spencer, very, very respectable and mature of you. Take the L, and you know what, Spencer? On the way, you gained that. You gained the W, and we hope we could be just as forthright about that. Because trust me, folks, we're gonna get wrong. Everybody does at some point, and that's a-okay. There's a friendship, a fellowship here that will not be broken by disagreement. The thing is, though, Spencer, now we're working on your bounding into comics contract so that they will provide a Tesla as you've become on board now with the pro Elon crowd. So 0 to 60 never looks so good on you, Spencer. But I want to give a preview, folks.
My check on X now, we're good.
Reestablished. Folks, I do want to say this on the Mandalorian being rushed into production. I'll go ahead and just preview this. Tomorrow we're going to talk about a change in filming location, and that's going to have a lot to say about it. Culture, your thoughts?
Wow. There's so much to be excited about at the end of this show. I'm looking forward to the earnings call for a whole lot of interesting reasons that have nothing to do maybe with the actual earnings themselves.
You have no content for your channel now. You just have
nothing to talk about.
Nobody does. Cheesy.
I need this stream to end so that I can go start making stuff for that Park Place. My goodness.
I have to eat and get ready to do HCast, where I assure you we're definitely talking about this.
I can't imagine what you're
I can't wait to hear Nate talk
Oh
about
man,
Gina
HCast is
Carano.
going to blow up.
Jonas, can you tell us a little bit about what your thoughts are?
It's a bit shady, isn't it? It's a bit shady. Jess is over there.
Not
I can't
cheeky.
do a Nate. Man, I love the way he talks.
I know,
and that's
great.
the any attempt at an impression is because I just love the way that those British pipes with that deep bass voice. Love it. Do we want to do super chats, bro? Because we've got 12.
Let me get LW. Let me get Lou's, and then we're gonna hit super chat. Lou, you get the final word on this.
Wow, I'm honored. I just looked at Daily Wire. It's nowhere to be seen. Isn't that interesting, considering her relationship with those guys? So I
need to call John and say, beat Daily Wire on that Park Place. Beat Daily Wire.
Exactly. Look, first of all, obviously this is huge. Second of all, the fact that the so-called Gina files definitely will come out, because the only way for Disney to stop that coming out is to write a huge check that she's willing to accept. And basically Gina's in a position to say to them, blackmail me with money from exposing your stuff? Go fund yourself, Bob. But the most important line in this thing, to me, in her tweet when she said, artists don't sign away their right to be citizens and express themselves freely. You know what? Just how we talked about how so many people who wanted animation careers after all the stuff that came out suddenly aren't looking at Disney. How many actors, writers, directors, people, when they find out just how badly these people abused this woman, are going to say, I don't think I want to work there. I don't think so. The one obvious one that everybody kept on talking about a few weeks ago, you think Robert Downey Jr. isn't watching all this and saying, maybe I don't like those guys so much anymore, no matter how big a check they want to write? They're going to have trouble getting people, certainly first-line people, but secondly, people on the way up, for fear that, I might say something or do something they don't like, and suddenly they're going to drop a ton of bricks on me and dump me. This has I am all for her, and I hope she takes them to the cleaners, and I applaud Musk for helping her. But this has so many more ramifications beyond just her and beyond just this one show. This is a game changer in the entire industry, folks, because they think they own you. Well, surprise. If you're willing to stand up, they don't.
Well said. Super chats.
Yeah, and Pro, I just think you got a very important guest on this subject tomorrow at 2 p.m. So I'm a great producer.
Are we allowed to announce that, Jonas?
Yeah. I think that's probably safe to say. I should be good to join tomorrow. All
right, folks. We've got a major announcement. Jonas, I'm going to have to give Jonas a ton of credit, and I want to say thank you to this young woman for agreeing to be there. One of the two women in this photo is going to be on the earnings call preview tomorrow on the Pro Show.
Oh, man, I got to come in person and apologize again.
So, folks, don't miss
apologize,
the Pro
hell,
Show
she's
tomorrow.
expecting cookies, damn it.
I gotta prostrate.
2 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, folks. You want to be on the Pro Show before the earnings call. Hey, folks, don't forget that this Wednesday, February 7th, coverage of the Disney earnings call begins at noon Eastern with Midnight's Edge, followed by a special edition of the Pro Show, a pre-show of what we can expect to see, as well as coverage from Valiant Renegade beginning at 4 p.m., where the earnings report will happen live during the show with post-show analysis. Don't miss a moment.